Luxembourg is sending Laura Thorn to Eurovision 2025 in Basel with La poupée monte le son. But is this doll going to be dangling from the ceiling, going straight into the final? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. Let's review Eurovision. So, Luxembourg made a sensational, long-awaited return to Eurovision last year. They somehow finished 13th. They're back this year trying to do it all over again with Laura Thorn, with La Poupée Monte le Son. It's a little clever pun. It's a little clever one because it harks back to the Luxembourgish winner from 60 years ago. France Gall in 1965. Poupée de cire, Poupée de Son won it. So it's a nice little 60 years on reference. How's it going to do? Let's have a little listen to it first.
Je donne de la voix, alors surtout joue pas au ventriloque. La poupée monte le son, na 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 na. Retiens bien la leçon, na 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 na. La poupée monte le son, na 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 na. Méfie-toi mon garçon.
So that was a bit of Luxembourg song. What do you make of it, Emily?
I really like the concept and the kind of like it being a follow-on from 1965, particularly as, it's only Luxembourg's kind of second year being like back in the contest after such a long break. So it's really nice that they're like using their history at the competition in this entry. In terms of the entry itself, I think it's quite a weak entry. I think it's a bit junior Eurovision actually is what it is. It's a bit like childish almost. And I think I like the national final performance. I like when she kind of has a change of outfit. That's where it like picks up a little bit for me. But I think the actual rest of the performance leaves kind of a lot to be desired. Like she doesn't, I get that like she's kind of wanting to like be a doll and move doll like, but it's quite slow and a bit awkward. Um, I find, and the vocals in places in the national final performance weren't great. So I like the concept, just less so the execution.
Yeah, I very much agree with that, actually. It's grown on me quite a lot. I'm feeling much more positive about it now than when I first heard it sort of 5 or 6 weeks ago, because back then I found it really grating. Like just even the first notes, that do, 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 I was like, nope, no, 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 not in the mood for this today. And now I can actually listen to it. At the time, I was like, I'm not interested. And I agree with you fully on the staging of it. It's almost as if they don't quite know what to do with it. You're right to say that it was very junior Eurovision at the national final because it was all pink. That costume, I mean, I hope they've put it in a skip and set it on fire because it was like a really bad escort costume. It was hideous. And they just need to you're pulling a face. Definitely. Yeah. It's just yeah, I think it is that performance was. I mean, I think I was not that sniffy about the vocals, to be quite honest, but it just feels a little bit juvenile, a little bit. I don't know. It didn't quite work. So I think there is potential. The song has growing potential, definitely, and she can perform it all right. It's going 13th in the semi-finals. So it's got quite late on. It's got the ingredients there to do okay. I think they just needs to have a rethink about what the staging is trying to show. And if they want, I mean, they could make her look a little bit less dolly and maybe stick doll things in the screen behind her so that she looks less like a prostitute. That's a good idea. But just, yeah, I think they need a bit of a rethink about the staging. But the song is not abysmal. I don't think it's as good as Fighter. Was that what it's called? Yeah, Fighter last year. It's not as good as that. Yeah, that did pretty well in the end, 13th somehow. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it is, as I've said, it is performing in the very first semi-final. It's going 13th. They sailed through to the final last year, but they closed the semi-final last year. What do you think is going to happen this time, and what's your score at 10, Emily?
So I still think it's probably going to go through just because if they can kind of stage it right, it will stand out and be kind of quirky. Um, and I think there's also probably still like quite a bit of like goodwill towards Luxembourg being back in the contest. And the fact that it's sung in French, and French is just a lovely language to listen to. So yeah, I think it'll kind of go through no issues. How it does in the final, I would say kind of probably towards the top of the right-hand side of the board, maybe bottom of the left-hand side. I think that's where it may end up. But I don't know. I don't know who will vote for it, but I just think people will. So yeah, I mean, as I've said, it's not kind of one of my faves, so I'm gonna give it a 5.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think this will go through. A few weeks ago, I wasn't so sure, but I think now it definitely will because the running order's in its favour. Actually, is it in the first or the second semi-final? It's in the second semi-final, in fact. I've completely made that up. Yeah, semi-final two. I think, yeah, purely because I think there are six songs worse than it, so I think it'll go through. How it does in the final, I agree. I'm not sure who will vote for this. It'll get the little girls' vote, I think, but you need Bill Pearce permission, as we are regularly told, to actually vote for them. So I'm not sure how big that base is, and what the reason why Fighter last year came 13th was because the juries quite liked it. The televote didn't really do anything, and I'm not sure this has got the ingredients that juries are looking for to actually give it the boost that it needs. So I think it will go through. I can see it uh, just above the bottom five, I think is where I'm aiming for. Speaking of fives, you are a bit harsh, I think, with the five. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
God, praise. High praise.
Relative praise. As we've been saying, this is not a great year. So 5, 6.5, not too bad for Luxembourg in the end. They've averaged over, you know, over the very, very middle of the road. But we'll see. We've got plenty of other reviews to come, so we'll see where it ends up in the rankings overall. But do subscribe and hit the bell. You'll get notified every single time we do any of the 3,000 videos still to come for this year's reviews. It's not really 3,000, but there's quite a few. Still early doors, and stick around as well. We're on Instagram and TikTok as well, to get us a little cheeky follow there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.